Welcome to Married AF. We are your hosts, Brooke and Randall Fowler. On this show, we discuss the topics that really matter.
Like big veiny cocks and our favorite TV shows.
So pull up a chair at our kitchen table and hang out.
While I bulldog my nuts.
Greetings, people of the internets. Welcome to the show. My name's Randall. I have a shot that's going to taste like shit. You got to grab yours because I got to do it while I have the willpower.
I don't know. Hang on.
You're reaching so slowly.
Well, I was like going under my mic stand and being, okay.
Cheers. I'm scared
Well, I fucking don't like the looks of this.
Wow, not as bad as I thought. I'm building up my tolerance.
Oh, it's disgusting. It's yucky.
Not as bad as I expected it to be.
Oh, it's yucky. It's too sweet. That's why you don't care.
All right, so we are back for episode something in the hundreds.
107.
107. It's fantastic. We have been working hard on our setup lately.
Yeah.
We'll see if there's improvement. Shout out to Man Brain, John Buchanan, Jason Almy.
All those fuckers.
For the help and the patience.
Yeah. I mean, whatever you had just done earlier, by the way, it doesn't look like that anymore on here.
What are you talking about?
Like when you came in here and were singing,
Yeah.
and you were like, it looks so much better in the GarageBand when we're recording on the computer. And
Oh, well, how about now? Did that change any of the size of the waves?
no, and don't worry about it. We're recording on a memory card, so, and I'll cut all this out because it's a stupid conversation. But I just wanted to let you know that literally they're just as tiny as they were the other day when we were recording.
Well, that makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense because you were just
doing it.
Right.
I think you're the bearer of bad news.
I think it's just what I'm looking at.
I don't know, but that's weird. There's no real...
You need to maybe speak with your inside, outside voice.
Well, so is it just my waves or yours and mine?
For sure yours. Mine look better.
Okay.
You need to use your big boy voice.
Maybe I need to move that out of the way.
No, please don't.
Well, this blocks my face, too. Me no likey. I can't. I'm looking through...
How about this? Swing that over here.
Now, this might be something that works. We just swapped microphones. And I don't think you should cut this out. I think it's an interesting conversation.
I didn't really know this was going to swing over so well, but it did.
I put it right in the middle. You're actually right. It's not, doesn't it feel weird, though? You got the big dick in your face?
Now, I've got, like, my chair's not the right height because I had adjusted it for my mic.
Super strange. I actually like this, though.
Yeah. We'll make it work.
Interesting.
Sir.
Well, we'll see. Do I look like I'm talking with my big boy voice better according to the DAW? Which I don't know what that means, but that's what people call their recording software in the industry.
Yeah, it does. And I was looking at the wrong one because now you're on top and I'm on bottom.
I could see that confusion.
That's what she said,
now,
too.
I could understand that being confusing.
And I was like, no, there's nothing at all. But then I'm like, hey, dumbass, he's on your mic now. All right, this is
It sounds better in my headphones than it has in forever. Can you hear in your headphones?
Absolutely. Better than I have in a while. So I will attribute that to all the help we've gotten in the past few days and weeks. I'm just going to put this chair over here because I can't get the chair right.
The people scrambled and they helped us.
Yeah.
So, that's good news.
Everybody, it's greatly appreciated because I was like, fuck it. I just don't care if we ever do it again.
No, y'all think I would burn the shit down? This one was, if I didn't figure it out, which is rare because I don't really deal with this shit, I don't think she was ever going to try. I'm going to be honest. I think she was like, fuck it. We'll see.
It was too much to take on because it required a lot of time of sitting here and troubleshooting it. And I can't sit down for 3 seconds.
Agreed. If our son's awake.
Yes.
I know.
So I appreciate you.
I never got mad at you.
No, I
Not
know.
one time.
So I appreciate you and all our friends for helping you out because
Yeah.
we just wouldn't podcast.
No, we'd just put out stuff that's like.
Well, I don't know if we would have been able to ever get it back to where it was because there's so much push this and pull this and unplug this.
We factory reset shit, and
Right.
I mean, we dove all in.
Oh, yeah.
And it worked out. So anyway, so
we're back in business.
I want to talk a little bit about this coronavirus.
The Kung flu.
Yeah, this coronavirus is really hogging up the news right now. Jesus Christ, it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. And did you see your sister's post, by the way, on Facebook?
No.
It was pretty funny.
Why is she telling people to relax?
Yes. She's like, chill the fuck. And she's like, hey, news media, why don't you quit just downplaying the fact that, like, oh, if you're old, it's just going to kill old people. Like, quit trying to make that sound like it's not a big deal. If just old people die. Mm-hmm. You know, like, oh, wait till it's your mom or your aunt or your sister or something that gets it. And then she ended it with, and P.S., Epstein didn't kill himself.
Yeah, she always does. She's a paramedic.
So she knows what she's fucking talking about with this kind of shit. But it was just funny because it was like, hey, quit trying to make it sound like, oh, if you're only the immune compromised are in danger. And it's like, okay, I get it. It's essentially the same thing as the flu. It's the fucking flu, but it moves. It has different symptoms, I guess. Uh-oh.
Yeah, and it has a little higher death rate.
Everything moves along a little bit quicker, and
it's an upper respiratory virus.
Yeah.
So if your shit's compromised, you're fucked. You know, if you've already got pneumonia and you pick that up, or if you got walking pneumonia and you pick that up, say bye-bye. If you've got severe diabetes and you're 80, you're fucked. If you
get it. Yeah, so, but it's...
we know where we stand. I don't see why the constant thing. And if we're so dumb, this is what really has opened my eyes.
Yes.
That clearly people don't wash their hands. We're having to be told how to wash our hands again. And this is valid because I've been watching, like, at the gym when I'm in the bathroom since this all came out. People really don't wash their hands. No, we're pretty nasty bastards. And I wash my hands and you wash your hands. I make a note of it. Like, I even wash my hands. Like, if I go to the bathroom downstairs, I come out into the kitchen to wash my hands because I don't want to rip the little soap dispenser that's attached to our wall off.
Oh, I was like, where are you going with this?
I know my pattern. If I'm downstairs, I'll wash it. Both of us wash as we come out of our bathroom in our bedroom. But clearly, people don't know how to wash their hands. And this makes me sad for humanity.
I mean, and that's the thing. It's like, you don't have to, hey, everybody, you don't have to go buy fucking... like hazmat masks. How about you just follow proper sanitary procedures? Wash your hands after you go to the bathroom. Don't fucking stick your hands in your mouth and in your eyes and then all over the place and vice versa. Like, when you cough into your arm. Don't cough into your hands, you filthy motherfuckers. Try to sneeze into your arm.
Well, they're saying now if you sneeze or cough or anything, to do it into a tissue and throw it away. But yeah, I was just going there like, not everybody carries a tissue around. Now, if you're old school like my Papa George
carries a
handkerchief, you're carrying around a hanky, that thing's going to be a disaster after round one, though. So then you're just growing it in a petri dish in your pocket.
Well, and you know, my dad carries a handkerchief.
Yes, because he's as old as my grandpa.
Right.
Old school.
Pretty close to how Papa George was. He was within 10 years of Papa George. But, I mean, if you don't have a box of Kleenex right next to you and you have to sneeze or cough, do it into your arm like they teach you, like they teach all the kindergartners nowadays. Like,
yeah, here's the thing. If a virus is on something, like if it's on a table, like some nasty bastard
can only survive for so long
and comes and coughs on this table we're at. If we then touch this table, we don't just get the virus. No, we'd have to touch our mouth, introduce it to our respiratory system.
To a mucous
your nose,
membrane or something.
To your eyes that go through your sinuses and all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
But here's the biggest thing. I think this is the number one where it's going to be a problem is if it starts hitting our schools, because everybody sends their kids to school sick. And that's where the biggest, if your kids are fucking sick, keep them home. They got a fever, keep them home, especially during times like this and flu season.
It's flu season,
but that's why the shit gets out of hand, because kids are disastrous little petri dishes.
And they're not,
and all of them are. They're going to put their hands in each other's eyes and in their mouths.
Yeah.
Scratch their butt to their mouth. Play with their dongs to their mouth. It's just the way it goes.
Yeah, they're not diligent about being sanitary unless somebody's hovering over them, telling them to be, because they don't understand as much. I mean, we tell Gunnar all the time, there's so many germs out here that can make you sick. Don't put your mouth on things.
It doesn't click
matter.
Yet. Yeah,
it doesn't
they
matter.
Don't get it.
Because he's like, what are you fucking talking about?
Well, he hasn't experienced it.
Exactly.
He's not old enough to know.
I mean, he's gotten the flu when he was like 2. Or no, he got strep when he was 2, I think. But either way.
We got the shot together this year, though.
Well, he gets the flu shot every year. But you know what? Me and Amanda went and got the flu shot together.
I know.
At the office. And she's been at home sick with the flu all week. And she sounds like shit right now, too.
I didn't... I've not always been a believer in the flu shot. I wouldn't have got it. The only reason I've gotten it the last 2 years is to make him get it, because I get it with him. And
I've made you get it since I was pregnant, because remember Dr. Robbins said because he was born during flu season. Yeah. He was like, if anybody gets the flu and your baby gets it, like he could die when they're newborn.
Yeah,
so
of course.
Ever since then, I was like, you're getting your goddamn flu shot.
But I know, I mean, the flu shot's not 100% for everybody,
it's not. But the one year I didn't get the flu shot was the year I got it, the flu.
I don't think I've had the flat out flu like in forever. The last time, I mean, I get like this last time that I was kind of sick was the sinus thing. Yeah, the cold, which used to debilitate me for a week.
You were way more of a champion this time. Oh, it was your nose.
Yeah,
it was your nose.
Because my nose is slightly better, I didn't pass away completely.
No. Yeah, we talked about that I was like, I think it's because your surgery that you got on your nose that you hated more than anything in the world, but it was worth it.
Yeah.
Because now things like the common cold don't make you
pass away.
Just die right away. But the flu is nasty this year too. Just the flu.
Yeah, I mean, the flu's always
But there's a ton of... I feel like there's more people that have gotten it like now. Like even later in the season, like now.
Well, right now the clusterfuck is if you have the flu, a piece of you thinks you has coronavirus.
Well, I asked Amanda that today because I was talking to her on the phone and I was like, dude, you sound terrible.
And the government might call you and make you get tested, by the way. If you test positive for the flu right now, your doctor may make you test.
No. Let me finish.
No.
She went to the doctor and I said, how do you know you don't have the coronavirus? Because it's flu-like symptoms or whatever. And she said, because when she did go to the doctor, they stuck the thing up her nose. And by the way, I would rather die than get the goddamn flu test. It's the worst shit ever.
I want to hear about it. My debridement still scar me because it's that for an hour straight. It's the worst.
Kill me. Yeah.
I agree.
I can't get it. And she said it tests for the specific strain. So she said she has the flu type A or whatever. Okay. So no, not coronavirus.
I believe it. I don't think she has coronavirus. I'm talking about me as a person. If I had the flu right now, there'd be about 22% of me that thinks I might have corona.
Even if you got the flu test and they said you have flu type swine.
Me? I mean, you should know me well enough that I would say, I need you to test me for corona.
Do the coronavirus.
I want to know.
They don't have those like the urgent
now
care.
They do.
They do?
All state, supposedly, according to Mike Pence, the VP, today, as of today, every state, local, everything has access to all the testing and is covered by private insurance and Medicaid. So basically they're saying it's available.
Anybody has access to it.
But how long that's going to take and shit, I have no idea. Or really care. I mean, I'm just saying me as a person, like if I tested positive for the flu, I'd be like, maybe I got it. But you know what? You may not even know. Some people get it and their symptoms, they just feel like they got a cold for a couple of days and your body fights it off. If you're healthy, you may never know.
You might have it, spread it around to a bunch of people.
Or you might have it and get over it and never have known.
No, it's stupid. I'm sick of it. And I know that like there's a lot of...
People are so sensitive though. It's affecting the stock market and people's employers.
It's affecting Corona, the beer company.
That's a horrible. You're right. Yeah, that was crazy.
It's
I was shocked by that. Like 40% of people.
Yes. There was like a whole survey done of like asking people if it affects whether they'd buy Corona beer or not. And it like, 40% of people say no, they will not drink Corona beer because of the coronavirus. I think it's like whether they think they're going to contract it from Corona beer is not clear. I don't know if I want to know if they think that.
If they do, they should die.
Oh, for sure. They should all get coronavirus.
I'm very saddened by the state of what our government, how dumb they think we are, that they have to teach us how to wash hands again, and how dumb we obviously are that some people have to hear that.
No, it's legit that they have to do that because I deal with people every day that are that dumb.
And that makes me sad.
I know. It makes all of us sad every day. It's just, I can't anymore. I don't know.
How about this, though? Staying on the government but switching off of the coronavirus. How about dead man with his faculties gone, Joe Biden, pulling out with the delegates?
I don't know.
And they're fucking Bernie Sanders again. First off, can you get two older, closer to death people to run for your fucking nomination?
That's what I said the other day, right? I was like, all the people that are under 100 have dropped out of the race, right?
And can you get two whiter guys? There's no whiter men on earth than Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders. I don't care how liberal they try to act. Two whitest guys in America. Donald Trump's 10 times blacker than both of those guys.
He's definitely got more street cred, I think.
That's what I'm saying.
But we've got Doc from Back to the Future and then Creepy McCreepfuck.
It blows my mind what has happened there. And fucking Mini Mike Bloomberg from New York, one of the richest men in the world, dumped $700 million into running for president for a few months and ended his candidacy today.
Isn't he going to be like the vice president candidate for one of them or something?
It's possible, but $700 million he just threw in the shitter.
He's got so much money
to run for president and get like literally 2% of the vote, so he drops out.
But that doesn't even make a dent for him.
How much money do you got?
Right. And they're like, we're just like you, American people.
And how can you have Joe Biden out there representing our country when he doesn't know where he's at? And if he knows where he's at, he's sniffing little girls' hair or kissing his granddaughter on the mouth.
Stop it.
It's so weird. He's unelectable. I want him to put somebody that can be elected.
He gives me the heebie-jeebies so bad.
One more facelift for that guy, and it's a wrap. His face is so taut.
And how porcelain are those dentures?
Oh, they're good. I mean, you see when Woody Harrelson plays them on Saturday Night Live, they're solid.
It's like Ross on Friends when he got his teeth whitened.
Better. But for me, it's, if you can look back at Joe Biden over the years when his eyes used to be open to a normal amount, he's so tight now that if
he's almost Asian.
Yeah, but it doesn't even look natural. So
no,
it looks
it's not
worse.
natural. That's what I'm saying.
It's a disrespect to Asians to call him that. He's different. He's like alien.
No, it's like and it like, do his eyes close at all? Like, does he just sleep with his eyes open? Like an old dog?
I don't know why these guys can't age gracefully. Well, I can, because if you age gracefully, you look like Bernie Sanders. So you got the two extremes. Bernie's never...
But he looks natural and old because he's old.
Well, Bernie looks like he's never put on deodorant. He's never ate anything that's not fried, which is clear his heart attacks.
He's never run a comb through that goddamn hair.
He's never done an exercise. His posture is beyond saving. And... he's got a gazillion dollars, but pretends like he doesn't. And the poor guy is going to get shafted again.
He does.
They don't want him as the candidate in his own party. He got shafted when they fucked him against Hillary.
Oh, they hate him.
And they're going to fuck him again, and Biden's going to get the nomination.
He's more like a communist. I mean, I'm a fucking political novice.
Yeah, he's a socialist.
But he's basically a communist. It's I don't know. It's so stupid. I saw.
He would be dead in a year, by the way, folks.
For sure.
He would not live through his presidency. There's no way.
No goddamn way. He does always look so schlubby, though, for somebody that has so much money. But I saw a meme today that was from Step Brothers, where he's like, "Did we just become best friends? You want to go do karate in the garage?" But it was, "Do you want to go watch the Democratic nominee debate with me?" And then the response was, "I'd rather go lick doorknobs in China."
Yeah. No, that's crazy.
Like, nope.
Poor CNN. I was watching today, and they have to pretend like this is good for them that Biden is pulled in front, and even they're like, "Fuck me, it's gonna happen again." Like they almost have accepted their. I mean, they know it's gonna be 4 more years of Trump, folks. There's just nobody. I mean, I would like to see somebody that could maybe even take him out, but it's not going to happen.
If they were worth a shit, but these fucks
That's what I'm saying. I'd like to have seen a candidate come out like a Barack Obama, some young prospect that speaks well, that's the opposite of Trump. Because right now, whether you love or hate Trump, Joe Biden, you're getting a crazy man that's got creepy tendencies. Bernie, going to be dead. So why don't you really try to get an opposite, get a very polished.
Yes.
There's another Obama out there.
There's got to be.
That's a new senator somewhere. Just like he was in Chicago when Oprah found him.
I think they had hopes for Buttigieg. How do you say it?
I think they had hopes for Cory Booker out of Jersey, but he's just terrible.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I hate it all.
I thought Michelle Obama might come out of the woodwork to run.
Why would she? Fuck that. She had enough of that White House.
No, I mean, I think Obama's just
I think they're chilling, man.
Riding
they're
off and tweeting every now and again.
They don't need all that stress anymore.
No, and what I love about Obama is he's not endorsing none of these motherfuckers. Like
Bloomberg. He was on a Bloomberg commercial.
Because they work together. He hasn't endorsed them. Like Biden, who was his VP, is trying to get Obama to...
And he's like, nah, bro.
Obama's like, he's kind of like George W. was like, man, I'm out.
I'm in the cut.
I don't want to get drugged back in.
Exactly.
It aged me a lot. I'm cool. Because you hadn't heard a peep from George W. Bush since the day he was like, I'm out forever.
Same with Obama.
I know.
They're chilling together probably somewhere, like partying.
Michelle Obama loves George W. Bush. Loves him.
Whatever big things are happening where all the presidents are together, they always end up sitting next to each other.
Yeah.
Like
W gives Michelle Obama a mint every time. It's like their thing.
Yeah. No, I mean, they don't want any part of that anymore because fuck that. Why would you? It is so stressful. And it
can only hurt you.
Exactly.
It can only hurt your legacy
and
if
they've
you
already
get
been
involved
there.
again.
They've already been there, done their job. Why would you get involved with that shit again? Fuck all that. I could see Trump getting involved with it again after he's gone because he's just such a narcissist. But I don't know. Maybe even him.
I don't know. I actually think the opposite. I think that once Trump is out, like he's experienced a hatred unlike even what the most narcissistic people would like. That I think when he gets out, he'll actually be like
humbled.
I'm tired of this shit.
Yeah.
I'm tired of being mean and having to, because everything with him is a negotiation and a gimmick. There's a gimmick in everything. If he's dogging somebody, there's a reason. Like he's trying to ruin them by giving them a nickname because they're, and he did it to Mini Mike Goldberg or Bloomberg.
Yeah.
Crazy Joe Biden. I mean, when they go up against Trump, they don't realize he's going for the jugular.
He is a bully.
And he has so much, an unlimited arsenal on Joe Biden or Bernie Sanders. Unlimited jokes.
He's like, oh, these are my competition? Great.
This will be fun.
Walk in the park.
And for his age, despite what everybody says, Trump's old as fuck. And he has the energy of a guy that's not. You got to admit that. He's older than people think. He's an old fuck.
He is, but I think he gets around and looks less old than Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders. I think he is less old than Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is like 80, it seems like.
Yeah, Bernie is not in good shape. But give him props. He had a heart attack and was like back on the fucking campaign trail in like 2 days.
He sounds like a nightmare. All right, can we be done?
Sure, with that part. No, actually, not all the way done. I was going to say I watched the thing on George Washington on history. Mm-hmm. That 4-part series was captivating, riveting. It was awesome. But
you should have watched it with Gunnar because he was learning about the presidents.
I wanted to dispel the myth that both of us thought and were taught.
Oh, this is gross.
About his teeth.
This is worse though.
I'm sure everybody had heard growing up that his teeth were wood dentures, right? Like that's what I heard. That's what you had heard.
No, and I said it when you were watching it. I was like, "Well, what about the wood dentures?" And then what you told me, it's so much worse, guys. It's terrible.
His dentures were made of ivory. Some of the teeth, some of them were his teeth that he would have pulled before they went bad. Because when he was president, he had one real tooth in his mouth. One real tooth. And the others were pulled from his slaves' mouths.
So bad. So bad.
And put into his dentures, and they were a horrific metal contraption. And it explains why he didn't speak publicly as president.
Because it was like clackety clack 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 in his mouth.
And it looks like they showed the dentures. It looks impossible to have ever spoken. It could not be It was.
What was the point of them then? Why
strictly for paintings and pictures. He didn't wear them. That's why he wouldn't speak in public.
They couldn't have just used their goddamn imagination and filled the teeth in?
No, do you not watch anything? They had to like sit for 10 hours while an artist.
But hey guy, you've painted people before. You know what teeth look like, right?
Well, no, I mean, I think it's when your teeth are in your mouth, it changes the whole shape of your face. You know what I'm saying? Like if you don't have them.
So I'm just trying to find a way that he doesn't have to yank teeth out of his fucking slaves' mouths. All of it's terrible.
No, here's the other thing. So bad.
And the ivory, also terrible because that's elephant slaughtering and rhino slaughtering.
It's all crazy. But the kicker, though, I don't want to set the wrong precedent. He was before his time because when he died, he freed all of his slaves. Now, I know that sounds terrible, but in his day, nobody did that.
For that time.
For that time period, that was a very forward-thinking. He gave them all their freedom and paid them.
That wasn't even a thing.
Now, he took their teeth. You should free them if you took some of their teeth.
Did he take, okay.
And I don't know if they volunteered their teeth. I mean, who knows?
Were they ones that just fell out and they were like, here, boss, this got knocked out when I was...
But what a beast and what a crazy time.
Yeah.
In our country. And him crossing the Delaware, gangster as shit. Just watch it. If you get a chance, it's on demand. Go in there, watch it.
On the History Channel?
Yeah. I enjoyed the shit out of it. Fucking warfare was strange. Mm-hmm. I mean, you had a musket. So if you shot once and missed, you'd be like, hang on. Time out. T.O., bro.
Give me 5 minutes. I got to reload.
don't stab me with your knife. Let's hang on. Let's both take a time out and reload and see who can.
No wonder there were so many casualties in all those wars back then.
Yeah, and people were just changing sides, going from the British to the Americans, back to the British, back to the Americans. It was just strange, but interesting to look back on that. Mm-hmm. And see his life. And then he died of basically the common cold. Mm-hmm. After all the shit he went through. Heck, he didn't really even want to be president. He just kind of had to be because he was so well known as a military man.
It kind of just like evolved into be like he was already leading everybody.
The army, yeah.
Commander in chief,
which at that point wasn't president. That was a different
that's what
thing.
I mean, but like he was already that position. So then they were just like, hey, why don't you just do this all the time, even when we're not fighting, right?
Well, and didn't want a monarchy because that's what they were leaving, with the British. So they didn't want that. And so that's how the presidency came about. And
that part that I saw seemed very interesting, where it was just like, hey, so how like you kind of lead us and like, it's all
the public kind of demanded it because he had such a vigorous following because he defeated the British with a scrub, newly unified country of ragtags. It should have never happened. I mean, outnumbered by mazillions. So, whatever. I just thought that was interesting.
He was a G.
Nasty teeth, though. God dang, I can't imagine. I mean, it'd be tough. I guess a lot of people didn't have teeth
But back then, there was no proper
So-
dental hygiene, really. Like,
Yeah, and supposedly he had I forget the name of it. It's such a horrible gum disease from a pretty young age.
gingivitis.
Well, no, but he had I don't know, something where his teeth were so soft. Blah blah blah. I've heard of it before.
It's like because they all came over from England, right? Like it's that
Yeah.
thing where they. Well, now it's because they don't have like fluoride in the water, but there's something to that.
It's also the cigarettes, the fags.
Which is what they
Is a
call
word, yeah.
cigarettes.
It's
over
all the
in
fags. All the fags
Stop.
over there.
Stop it.
They smoke a lot of fags.
Okay, stop saying that.
I'm not saying anything. That's for real. They
I
really
know
call
that's
it.
what
I'm
they
not
call
joking.
it.
What a weird word.
I know.
Hey man.
They also say cunt like it's nothing. They say cunt like we say bitch.
Let me get one of those fags.
Let me get one of those bags, cunt.
Yeah, it's strange. Yeah, not the most hygienic folk. Always look stinky. A big majority of them from
feel
over
like
the
it's-
pond look a little stinky.
It has something to do with like the fact that the sunshine is limited over there. They're like, fuck it.
But
There's
it
no
also
go-
makes sense to me why like the coronavirus is so big over in Italy. They look stinky.
They do look stinky.
That a lot of them are very good looking. Like you get some of the best looking men, like
But-
Italian men, but they look like they smell like horseradish.
Well, I feel like a lot of the women don't shave their pits or
Yeah.
their legs and stuff.
I
Is
agree.
it-
That's
and-
why they have coronavirus outbreaks. All
Body-
those reasons.
It's body hair.
Well, I think it can be. How often do you wash your
It's
ass?
hygiene, people, hygiene.
Yeah, there's people I can look at. You stink. I don't even have to smell them. I can just look at it. You stink. There's a shininess and oiliness.
Mm-hmm.
Now that can also be fake. Some people can look stinky
Mm-hmm.
and not be. It's strange. But some people have that down to a science. Our buddy Nick with Gold, the band. Some people might look at him and be like, I bet he stinks. He does not. I've hugged him. Smells like nothing.
Of
Smells
course,
great.
yeah, no, he does, yeah, because they're clean people.
I know,
them
but
very
some
well,
people
yeah.
would look and be like, oh, hipster guy,
because-
he's,
yeah.
he's stinky. No, he's not. I've hugged him real close, real
Yeah.
tight. No stink.
After he played a
Yeah,
show.
an
Yeah.
hour show,
Yeah.
slamming on the guitar.
I
No
know.
stinkiness. So
you can't
you
always
can't always
judge.
go by that. But if you look poor, I can tell.
Stop it.
I can tell.
You are
Well,
just
here's
offending all
here's
kind
the
of people.
other thing. This is going to be big for you to know. Wendy's has breakfast now.
I don't give a fuck.
You're going to love that. We are not Wendy's folks here.
I'll never give Wendy's one more cent of our money.
Jordan, our niece, went back to Wendy's. She told me the other night.
What?
She was very sad and
What?
was scared to tell me. And Griffin, that she went back.
Because we all swore it off for life
Yeah, it's
after
pretty
that
nasty.
trip.
I could
When
never.
we stopped at Wendy's in Montgomery, Alabama, and there was ants and raw chicken and flies, and we were all
It was
sure
everything
we were
bad. If you
everything.
want bad service at a fast food joint,
and the bathrooms were gross
and
everything.
people didn't care about your order, it was
No.
all brutal. But yeah, should have left when we saw the ants all over the drink machines.
Yeah.
But we didn't. We were hungry. We were traveling.
starving.
I was willing to look past the ants and think maybe, hey, something's going on here, but it'd be fine.
Nope,
Then
it
when
was-
you added them all up, yeah, I haven't been able to go back since.
No, never again. Never. So what else are we going to talk about tonight? I did just want to mention, just to redeem myself, which it isn't myself really, but the last episode we talked about the season premiere or the mid-season premiere of Walking Dead. This next episode this past Sunday was very good.
Way better.
Very action-packed
Now,
and very good.
probably the least believable episode I've ever
Okay,
watched.
Okay. It's a zombie apocalypse, baby.
Yeah, and I got to go ahead and go there with Daryl. All right, so he gets stabbed in his thigh. Everybody knows femoral artery, that's a deadly place to be stabbed. You don't fuck with the thigh. That's just a bad thing.
No, him and Alpha both should be dead from the
but
amount of blood
he
they
had a
lost.
knife in his femoral artery, so he left the knife in there like a smart man. That's what he should have done.
But then he
But
had to
he's
use
about
it.
to be killed by a zombie, so he pulls it out, stabs him in the head.
It's
Huge stream of blood is pouring out.
squirts out. Yeah.
Just so you know,
You would bleed out.
a tourniquet would likely not save you unless an ambulance was there then from a femoral artery leaking, even if you turn it. And he didn't. He laid there for hours and was about to die.
No, he tied it up with like a shirt or something, but like
it's not going to last it.
No,
for
minutes.
Hours.
Minutes.
That would buy you time for the ambulance ride, maybe, and they could clip it.
You have minutes
if you're lucky.
If your femoral artery is that badly wounded, you have minutes, maybe seconds, depending on the wound. I was having to really suspend my disbelief.
That was the only part that got.
episode.
Other than that, it was a good episode. Every bit of it was full of. There was actually aggression and some shit happening. People fighting instead of talking about fighting, which is all I've been wanting.
And the plot line moving forward with fights that have been stirring. There was no Negan.
No, but he gets his skin mask next week, and I've seen the pictures.
Who is it?
It looks stupid.
But is it a specific person?
Oh, you can't tell. His looks just like Alpha's.
I mean, they all look. I just figured there would be some significance, like, oh, they kill somebody.
His looks just like Alpha's. Like, it's blacker, but he looks so dumb in it. Like, it almost offends me.
Yeah. I don't like him over there with they need to hurry up and wrap that up. I don't like him over there with the whispers and how he fucked Alpha in the last. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? But they
how she lived, she was dying for hours, and it was cool. But if they would have let her die, it was pretty cool how it was ending. So I thought maybe Lydia
was gonna kill her because first I thought when she saw Lydia, it was just a hallucination, like she was passing away and saw, but no, Lydia was really there. Then she tried to convince Lydia to kill her and kind of take over her role with the whispers, and Lydia was like, nope, sorry mom, that's not really what I want to do, and I'm not going to kill you, I'm going to save Daryl instead. Okay, bye. She takes Daryl and saves him, leaves her there, and they both survive on somehow.
Yeah, an old dude, Beta, gets shot by a fucking 44 Magnum to the chest.
He had some kind of plate on.
Yeah, he had a vest on, but that big ass gun that Judas shot him with,
would have.
And of course, you got a chest plate on. Of course,
you're
point blank to the chest, and that guy has been thrown down a well or an elevator shaft.
Yes, he's like the goddamn Terminator. He is the fucking Terminator every time. And stupid dumbass Gamma or whatever, when like he was shot up against the wall in the hallway, I'm like, really? You're just going to go over there and look at him and then walk away?
You have to, so he can grab you.
Yeah. I'm like,
it's horror movie 101.
Is this your first day? I thought you were like third in command with the Whispers. Why are you walking away from him?
And why is Judith, the blood of Rick Grimes, not smart enough to walk up and put one in his head too?
Yes, in his fucking
Everyone
face.
knows you follow up with one to the dome.
Because even if he was dead, you don't want to leave him in there in the hallway.
I know. That's what I'm saying. There's rules to this shit, and she's a smart girl. She's obviously... I'm waiting on them for her to also to become the badass that she's supposed to be.
To become Carl, obviously, because...
Yeah. I mean, they built her up when she, showed up. She was going to be a badass just with her gun work and all that shit.
Yeah. She's going to basically have to become the Rick Jr. / Carl.
But here's the interesting part to me. So Daryl and Alpha mortally wounded in a battle. That was a great fight. Lots of cool shit happens. They both kind of like dragged themselves to opposite ends of a building to die. And
then Alpha sat there and called some zombies in there, knowing that they wouldn't fuck with her because she looks like a zombie with her mask on.
Yeah. But even when that didn't work, she tried to crawl to him to finish him off because he said something about her being a horrible mother. Yeah, she passes out.
Yeah. She's like, what'd you say, boy?
So they're both like literally dying like 10 feet away from each other.
Yeah.
And next episode, they both look 100% ready to go back to war.
They're good to go. They're fighting.
The magic of TV. For God's sakes, have a limp though, Daryl.
Yeah.
Your femoral arteries.
And she was like stabbed through the shoulder.
It was weird. It was like through the neck shoulder. I didn't see exactly where Daryl had it in there. It was through like,
it was bad. Real bad.
Yeah. She's tough though, but she's crazy. I can't believe Negan fucked her though. Subpar.
I don't know. That's all that's weird. Beta's not going to be happy when he finds out about that.
No, I don't know. His demise has to come soon. He's kind of served his time. I was hoping Judith would have killed him. That would have
I
been
know.
fitting for her to have been the one to kill him.
For sure, but I
Nope.
know.
Not going to happen. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to the next week of that. So far, what else are we watching right now? We watch The Voice during the chair turns. We stop
That's it.
watching it once the turns are over.
I can't take it. I like the chair turns. I love me some Nick Jonas
Well, I'm
as
gonna
a judge.
I'm gonna be honest. I like him a lot as a judge.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure. Like him, handsome fella,
Love
good
Nick
looking-
Jonas. He's adorable.
good-looking young man, and he uses it well as a
Yes.
coach. He doesn't oversell it.
The
but
other
he
judges do
hasn't-
it for him.
He hasn't lost a young girl
No.
that loves him yet that he wanted.
Really? I thought between him and Kelly one time he won.
No,
Or
not
she
the
won.
ones that have been like in their package.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
like, I'm a Nick Jonas.
No, you're not going to win that.
Because
those-
he does it great without being pompous or arrogant. I think Adam Levine is going to be kicking himself in the ass for leaving this show.
I think so too, because what's he doing?
I agree. He was so good on it. I'm pissed at him for leaving.
Him and Blake were great together. Kelly's taken over that role.
Yeah, she's too much sometimes. In a good way, though. I like because she's consistent, but she is. You could tell being her friend would be like
Exhausting.
Shit, this is exhausting.
It would be exhausting. Her husband has got to be like. That's probably why she got so many jobs, because she knows she'd annoy the fuck out of her whole family. She's like, I gotta go because I want y'all to stick around and be my family.
And I'm starting to be a believer. I think John Legend probably has a humongous dick.
I love him.
He has low energy,
Yeah.
big dick energy, which is a first. Usually big dick energy guys have energy. He doesn't.
No, he's got the confidence that he's got so much confidence that exudes without having to be outwardly energetic.
And he never raises his voice. No. He doesn't scream when he talks. He's like, hey, look, I love what you do.
Yes.
My dick is huge. Be the best you've ever had.
I believe
I'm starting
that.
to buy him. I'm starting to believe him. I always wondered. I mean, he's the sexiest man in the world right now, reigning.
I love his voice. I could listen.
It's not all on his looks, though. What I like about him being the sexiest man
it's
alive right now is it's a total package.
It's his personality,
sell.
his confidence,
And
all
his
that.
singing abilities, for God's sakes,
yeah,
and his
that's his
piano
talent.
playing abilities, and
Yeah,
that added together.
all that
is a good
talent.
thing.
You could look like a troll that lives under the bridge, and people would still be throwing their panties at you.
Yeah, and Blake Shelton keeps getting a little chubbier every season. Nobody cares. Still a handsome.
Gwen
devil.
don't care.
Still a handsome fella. I'm talking about even the ladies don't care.
No, they don't, because he's adorable. He's
Put
got
his
a dimple.
mullet back on him. Not a single one wants him. You talk about a change. When he cut that shitty mullet, he looked so bad with a mullet. And then he shaved it. Best looking guy in the world. One haircut. But he's also one of those guys that got better looking as he gets older.
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely better looking older.
Looks like you.
I know. By the way,
shave your head and get rid of that fucking terrible mustache when you were 16. How did you get as much tail as you got in your high school? I mean, and I'm speaking for somebody who also looked ridiculous in high school, but
well, I mean, a lot of it's always been that I'm a confident person. I've never lacked confidence.
Exactly, but all you've done is gotten sexier with age.
Well, a lot with age. But speaking of that, I got asked at TJ Maxx yesterday if by chance I was over 55.
No, that was Ross.
Or
'cause
Ross.
I was standing right there. Yeah,
I was
when we
buying
were
some
checking
underwear.
out.
I was buying some underwear. Ross is the weirdest place. I went in there. This is what I got for me: some orthotic insoles, 2 packs of underwear, and some body wash.
And then some shirts for me to wear to work.
And that was, checking out, and the girl's like, any chance you're over 55?
No, she just said, "Are you over 55?"
No, she said by chance.
Oh.
I listened to every word of it.
It was the
'cause
orthotic.
I was surprised, but I wasn't even mad. I was mad at me for not saying yes.
Because what is the first thing I said to you when we walked outside?
Yeah, oh yeah, you're over 55. But I'm more mad that I didn't take the opportunity, because if you're going to think I'm 55, and if I say yes, you can't then ask for my ID after you asked me.
I know, you were like, why didn't I just say yes and take what treat
take
she
the
was going to
10% or whatever it is.
It's usually 10%.
Fucking ridiculous.
Just give it to me if you think I'm 55, or older. It's
Yeah.
because she looked at your young, hot wife and realized you probably weren't.
Well, and my grayer everyday beard. Just look at it compared to our poster here. How much grayer it's got.
Well, the color's altered on that.
Yeah, but you can see.
When did we take that? Was that
Probably close to 2 years ago.
because we started 2 years ago, February?
Yeah, so it was almost probably 2 years.
Because
Pretty quick.
it was shortly after we started the.
Yeah, the little Chihuahua still alive. At the time we took that picture, thought he was dying soon.
I know, we really
Nope.
did. I was like, he's going to be immortalized in our poster.
Nope.
He's going to die soon. No, he is still just
Living on methamphetamine
and hate.
and anger and hatred of others,
Fueled by hate and anger.
of all people and animals.
Oh, my little buddy.
No, he's not your buddy. You can believe that. He doesn't like you. He doesn't like anyone.
I like him still sometimes.
I don't. He doesn't like anyone. I don't like him. And I think he's trying to kill me. He runs under my feet. He wants to trip me so then I won't bear down and I'll take the injury on me. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not watching my step. You know why? Because I'm not going to break my neck again to avoid this little shit. I'm going to step right on his spine. Still won't kill him. Just going to be paralyzed.
We're gonna have to
We've
get
talked about it. He's going to have a wheelie chair.
We're gonna have to get him a little doggy wheelchair,
Cost us thousands.
and then he'll just roll over our feet with it.
And piss on our feet.
And piss all over it, and I'll have to clean it. It'll be another thing that I'll have to clean piss off of.
And I'll have to carry the shame that I paralyzed him from the torso down. And he'll look at me and be like,
Emilio.
I planned this.
Yeah.
I didn't need my legs.
He is just so angry at everything.
He is a rascal. All right, well, you want to go into MurderTits?
Sure.
All right, let's do it.
MurderTits.
This is the same night and the same segment.
Seamless transition. All right, so I literally heard about this guy today, and I will tell you where and how I heard about him, because that's actually the more interesting part of this whole story. So who I'm going to tell you about is Mark Goudeau. He's known as the Baseline Killer.
Okay.
I'd never heard of him.
Me either.
So I assumed you'd never heard of him. He is from Phoenix, and the reason he's called the Baseline Killer is because all of it was murders and sexual assault. All of those terrible things were all happening right off of this road that was called Baseline Road. So he didn't really have anything that stands out to be unique necessarily against many other offenders that all the true crime stuff is talked about. But I'll just give you the rundown on him real quick. So he was born in 1964, so he's a good 15 years older than us.
Is he still alive?
Yes, he is. He had an alcoholic dad. He did play football, so maybe CTE is to blame.
Okay. Was he good at football, or did he just play?
He just played. There was nothing too outstanding. He went to Corona del Sol High School in Tempe, Arizona. I mean, it said he was good at sports and played football for the high school team, but he didn't graduate because he didn't get enough credits. And so this is where shit starts to go bad. So it's 1982, him and his brother were arrested for raping someone, but no charges were pressed. And then he was...
The good old 80s.
Exactly. So this is one of the main reasons I was there's two reasons. I heard a cool story about this today, and then this right here. So in the 80s and 90s, a lot of this shit could have been avoided because there was definite signs and the laws back then were so different. So he was also charged with trespassing in 1987, driving under the influence. 1989, he was charged with abducting a woman, raping her, and bludgeoning her. And then he was actually he claimed that she willingly had oral sex with him, and then that the rape and assault was some other dudes. Like, it wasn't me, it was the other guys. He was sentenced to 15 years for the abduction and 21 years for a robbery in 1990. So more of a punishment for robbery than for this like abduction and rape and beating. The laws were terrible.
Which was kind of the standard.
It blows my mind. And so, but then after he was in there for 13 years and he was a model prisoner, they're like, "Okay, see you, bye. You were so great." He was paroled in 2004, and then he went into it wasn't a halfway house because he was with his wife. Moved into a house that was not far from Baseline Road, and about a year later, that's when all the Baseline killer crimes started.
And they didn't immediately look at him when they started, just right off
that
the
was,
bat.
that was another thing that was wrong with the justice system and police work back then. Was one, none of this would have happened if the appropriate penalty would have been placed on him for such violent crimes. I mean, like, in the 80s, raping somebody and it was like slap on the wrist. And then
if nobody died, it was not harshly punished.
Yeah. The fact that, rape wasn't seen as even really like a violent crime necessarily.
No, and it was open for interpretation during
right.
the 80s and 90s.
Oh, it was like, what was she wearing?
Rape.
Yeah. And was she asking for it? That was always the mindset of the police. It was so fucked up. So this is the number of victims. He had killed 9 people, raped 10, and had 5 additional robberies. His crimes, like the murder crimes, were from 2005 to 2006. So like he was paroled in 2004, then like a year later started killing people.
And he killed all those people in 1 year?
Yep.
Wow.
All off of Baseline Road. They have a little map on this one website.
That's not very common that they kill that many in that short of a period of time.
Which tells me that there was a lot more probably violent rapes that happened that he didn't get caught for, because also back then women didn't want to come forward because they were ashamed and
it'd probably get swept under the rug.
Right. The guy wouldn't get punished enough anyways. And then she would be scared that he would come back and like actually kill her this time. It's all terrible. All fucking terrible. They have like a timeline. This is on, for some reason, Criminal Minds fandom site is where pretty much got all this information. His MO was like financially motivated. That's where the robberies come in. Like he would say he was robbing them. Then he would end up raping them. Then be like, yeah, now I'm going to kill you for most of them.
So what did he look like? That's always the key. I mean, you just describe him to me.
He looks like he it could be black or maybe Mexican. Honestly, I can't tell. He could be light-skinned black guy or Mexican guy with kind of like black guy hair-ish. But he definitely has like a weird like pencil mustache that creeps me out kind of. So let me see. There was one murder that was just incidental. It was like the roommate of somebody. And all his victims were women.
How was the murder incidental?
It just says appears to have been incidental. But I think it was like a roommate of somebody that he was raping and murdering that happened to like stroll in at the very wrong time.
So he had to kill him. I get it.
So he had to kill him. That one does look like a dude. I feel real bad if it's not. And the person's name is Chow Chu. I feel awful probably butchering that person's name.
Chow Chu.
They were 23 years old and died in 2006. So he killed, this is in 2000. So in 2005, he killed 2 people and then the rest of them were in 2006.
How
he went fucking
we not
bananas.
Heard of this guy That's recent enough to where you'd think that would have been bigger news.
I know, right? And it might have
He's
been.
not a good old classic white American Americana serial killer.
Well, and the funny thing is like,
so no one cares.
Yeah, they're see, this is on a site that's about Criminal Minds, right? You know, like how Criminal Minds does all their episodes like ripped from the headlines. There were 2 different episodes of Criminal Minds, like one in season 2 and one in season 12, where they mention his name, or no, they mention him one time, not by name, but by like his the baseline killer, and they mention him in season 12 by his name alongside like some other made up person. But so this one is a rip from the headlines, and then they change it up so much in those shows. But all right, so it's financially motivated, mostly women. When he killed them, he did typically like abduct them like from some public place, and then he would like take them to a secluded place nearby. And there was one person he killed in their home. He would also use like a disguise, and kind of in a Ted Bundy-ish way, like get their attention somehow. Not like, I need your help necessarily, but it was like I need to talk to you about something kind of thing. One sounds horrifying though. He sometimes would wear a Halloween mask, and would walk up to his victims and pretend to be like homeless or a drug addict. I mean, if some homeless drug addict guy wearing a Halloween mask comes up to me, I'm not going to be like, yes, sir, what do you need? Like, I'm so fucking sure. But he clearly went bananas in 2006. But his wife still proclaims his innocence. She actually has a blog called like Mark Goudeau innocent.blogspot.com.
And like up to date, like to this day, or just back in 2006?
So I've got it pulled up. It just has like, it's very basic. She started it in 2007. I don't know. I think it just updates like every time somebody accesses it. It has just a bunch of bullet points on like why he is innocent. Like some of the DNA stuff they're saying excludes him, but I'm like, I don't know. Sometimes DNA evidence doesn't necessarily like exclude them. They can't definitely say it's him. But it says he was proven guilty of these crimes with DNA. So ballistics and circumstantial evidence, which circumstantial evidence is tricky. Sometimes it's glaring. I don't know. There's no details on the circumstantial evidence, but like if you got DNA too, like, I mean, that's...
I don't see being framed for all 9 of the murders.
No. Yeah, he was found guilty of all of the baseline murders. So he was charged with 9 murders, found guilty of 9 murders. This is what he was charged with. 9 counts of murder, 5 counts of sexual assault, 3 counts of attempted sexual assault, 10 counts of kidnapping, 12 counts of armed robbery, 4 counts of attempted armed robbery, 3 counts of sexual abuse. Oh, because one of his victims was like 12. Yeah, so they fucking threw the book at him, thank God.
So what did he get sentenced to?
Death.
And he's not dead yet?
He's still incarcerated at the Arizona State Prison. Arizona State Prison Complex, Eyman. Eyman.
Wonder why he hasn't been put to death yet.
Because it was just, I mean, babe, you know how many, they have to give time for appeals. This is all part of the process. He was just arrested in September of 2006. And
so 15 years ago.
Yeah, it takes a long fucking time. People stay on death row. Wasn't Charles Manson technically on death row?
I don't know. Probably, yeah.
But then they abolished the death penalty in California or something.
I don't know exactly. I think he was on death row though.
He dead now, so who cares? Which he just died last year, I think. Wait, there was one more thing.
So anyone survive? Does he have survivors?
Yeah, because he has just rape victims that survived. That's how they got. So like they had rape victims of his that did survive that they were able to give the police like a real rough sketch of him. So here, I'll tell you the story that I heard today that was bonkers. And this is what made me want to look at him. So there's this podcast that Payne Lindsay has, he's the Up and Vanished guy.
Yeah.
So he's got another podcast called Radio Rental. The whole structure of it's a little weird. It's like Rainn Wilson's like the host acting like he's at like a video store, whatever. It's silly, that part of it. But then they get to these interviews that Payne does, and it's not even really Payne talking at all. There's maybe one more, but it's like he talks to these people that have had just crazy life experiences. Like the very first one I listened to was a guy that was on the plane with the dude that tried to blow it up with his shoe bombs.
Oh.
And he was a teenager at the time, like going through the whole what happened with that. And then there's just some other crazy stories. And then this one was this girl who lived in Phoenix. Her apartment happened to be right off Baseline Road, and she was sleeping. She had a first floor apartment, and she was sleeping in her bed. She said her window was like right above like the headboard of her bed, and she could hear on her window this like tapping, and it was almost like she said she sat there and it was like tap 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 and then a pause, tap 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 and then a pause, and it just kept going. And then she was like, is that like a bird or like a branch or something? So she's like, what the fuck out of her? And it was real late at night. She started getting real aggravated. Then she realized it might be her boyfriend, because sometimes her boyfriend would like to play like stupid pranks on her. So she got up and went to the bathroom or something, and then came back in the room. And she said when she walked back in, she could see through, it was like Venetian blinds, and she could see through the blinds that there was a person there, and it was not her boyfriend.
That's some shit.
And she was like, she just got this immediate feeling of just dread. But this girl, like, she just sounds like a badass. She went up to the window and just like real quick, like pulled the blinds and opened them. Was like, what the fuck are you doing? And she said he was just like crouched down, and she said she remembered, she like described everything he was wearing, and he had big, thick black gloves on. She said this was August in Phoenix. No fucking reason for you to be wearing big ass like ski gloves.
Yeah, it'd
almost
be 110 there.
Yeah. And she said she looked at his face, and his eyes were like those black eyes. And she described like exactly what people say about Ted Bundy. And she said that too. She said she'd just read like The Stranger Beside Me. And she was like, I know it sounds like cheesy or dramatic. She's like, but I swear to God, I was looking into the eyes of what I was hearing people describe Ted Bundy's eyes as, just like black, like soulless eyes. And I think she maybe had even like opened the window somehow, because she said they were just sitting there like staring at each other. She's like, what the fuck are you doing? And he just like whispered to her, can I talk to you? And
of course.
She said she just like, she felt this, like she was definitely for sure not going to talk to him. She felt dread and just like a pit in her stomach, like just that feeling of just like, this guy person is not right for sure. Yep. So she said, fuck you, douchebag, get out of here.
Did he leave?
She said he got real taken aback, like he was not expecting anybody to be confrontational, which you're creeping up on a woman's bedroom window, and you think like she's gonna be like, yeah, let's talk, what's up, dude, this is cool. Because I guarantee you I would have had that same kind of fucking reaction, like fuck you. But I would have also been on the phone with the 911 calling them, and she never makes any mention of calling the cops, which I'm like, girl, that's your
not even after.
No, I don't understand that. But so he took off, actually. Like she said he sat there for a minute and kind of like went back on his heels, like whoa. And then she was just like, get the fuck out of here, douchebag. And she locked the window, closed the blinds, and then even just like didn't sleep in her room that night. Was like, fuck this. And then when her roommate got home, she was telling her roommate about it, and her roommate immediately was like, do you think that was the baseline killer? Because like she hadn't even thought about it. And then she was like, fuck, we live off Baseline Road, I guess it could be. And just like a month later, she said she was in class, and this was like, 2006, so we didn't have iPhones. She said she had a flip phone, and she got a text from her roommate that was like, the baseline killer was just arrested. You need to go look at his picture, see if it was that guy. So she ran to she was in college. She ran to the computer lab at the library and looked at his picture and said it was absolutely 100% without a doubt. It was him.
Shit.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I still can't believe it's still, it's weird that she never called the police at all in 2006.
Yeah. Not that night. So she did end up, after seeing a police sketch, a week later, called and talked to a detective, one of the Crime Stopper hotlines or whatever that was specific for the baseline killer. She called at that point, but I'm talking I would have called that night and been like, there's a fucking creep. Even if it wouldn't have entered my mind that it was this serial killer that was on the loose, I still would have been like, there's somebody that's up to no fucking good, especially with the bad feelings she was getting about him. It doesn't hurt anything. For one, shouldn't have been tapping on your window.
Oh, and two, she doesn't know that he left. If she just closed the blinds and went and slept in another room, that's gangster crazy shit.
I don't understand that either. I would have been calling the cops and been like, come to my house right now and make sure that whoever this crazy fuck is gone and not coming back and not going to hurt somebody else or whatever. But yeah, that's the only part where I was like, girl, why did you not call the cops?
Yeah, these, statistically speaking, he's got better stats than some of the main serial killers. These guys, I go off their ranking because that's probably what they want once they're caught. Mm-hmm. And he's one of those too. Obviously gets fucked because never heard of him. He has no standing in the GOAT rankings of serial killers.
And that's a lot of people he killed.
It's a lot. That's what I'm saying. His numbers could justify him being in the hall. Mm-hmm. But
because what was Dahmer, 17?
Yeah, I don't know if they ever had a full number on Dahmer because there was parts and pieces and
he knows though, kind of.
Maybe, but he also had those blackout spells and shit where
which Dahmer's
it doesn't matter,
way more terrifying person. But yeah, 9 people is a lot of people, more than one or one.
After watching the thing I watched the other night that we both watched on BTK, he's back as my GOAT again. People want to talk about Bundy's dead eyes. BTK in court, most gangster serial killer I've ever seen in my life. Well, not disrespect, just don't give a fuck. Just flat out told the victim's family, one of them asked him a question when they could address him or whatever, and then the judge asked him, what was his reason for killing him, and he just looked at them all straight and was like, sexual fantasy.
But Ted Bundy never admitted in court anything.
I know. That's what I'm saying. BTK is the most gangster. Everybody talks about that, Bundy would go from normal to dead eyes, right? That's what they'd say when he wanted to kill.
He had a very it was almost like a split personality, I think.
Well, if you don't think Dennis Rader did,
I think Dennis Rader was just dead all the time. He did, but it was in a different way. He talked about it in his letters to the police, he called it the X factor. BTK did. When he wrote all those letters, he called it the X factor would take over and then he would have to kill somebody.
Yeah.
But his just explanations of how he killed that entire family.
Without being, supportive in any way of these serial killers. As far as the candor, you got to give him props for once he was caught, he was like, shit, well, fucked her, didn't fuck her, jerked off on her dead body, choked him dead, then cut his head off.
He wanted everybody to know, though. He wanted the notoriety, and that's where he's very different from Ted Bundy. He wanted that's what got him caught, was his ego. His ego was because somebody else was going to get credit for his shit.
And he thought he could trust the cops.
Well, he did some real dumb shit to get caught, but I think he wanted to get caught, obviously. But no, this was that was also still back in most of his were back in the early days. BTK was caught in 2005.
Well, yeah, but he said he was about to kill again, which is the craziest part. He was plotting a comeback. I don't know. He just fascinates. That dude, savage. Straight up savage.
He's cold-blooded as
And
fuck.
the way that he killed that first family, or that big family he killed.
Leo Terras.
When he had a built-in alibi of taking the Boy Scouts out in the woods, camping with them. When they went to sleep, he just left all these kids alone in the woods.
Yeah.
And it worked out to where all of these kids slept through the night and never looked for the guardian, and he had time to go kill the whole family. It's crazy.
And sometimes he wouldn't go kill people. There was, I don't know if you were in the room for this, sometimes he would just go do his like auto asphyxiation, his like autoerotic asphyxiation somewhere in the woods. Like he had like a bunch of like women's lingerie and stuff that he would put on, and he would like make these contraptions where he would kind of hang himself from a branch and have his feet tied, but he had to have something where it would like, because there was one time that he really thought he wasn't going to be able to get himself out of it, and he thought all the Boy Scouts were going to find him like all tied up like
this.
this
With lingerie on and his dick in his hand.
Because they showed some pictures of it. Did you not see that part?
No.
Because he had Polaroids cameras set up and would take pictures of himself in these situations.
Well, now we got to go back and watch this as soon as we're done.
Well, because this is what you do. You turn something like that on. You're like, I want to watch this. And you turn it on. And then you walk out of the room for 20 minutes.
If I go to make a snacky poo, that's just how long it takes. But you got to tell me when a pivotal part like that happens. I would pause it for you in a pivotal part.
I did.
Dude taking pictures of himself in lingerie. Gotta know that. It's fine. We can go. I want to see that. That's crazy. I did not know that he choked his own self while jerking off. I didn't know that about Raider. I knew he jerked off on dead bodies, which is crazy.
We watched that movie, The Hitch Whatever Killer. It was
but I never knew, like, it would seem very much.
It was BTK.
But if you can't call it, it was just weird to me.
No, everything that guy did in that movie, though, was BTK.
Yeah.
His MO, he even did the autoerotic asphyxiation, dressing up in women's lingerie, all of it.
God, but when you see Dennis Rader, I don't know, man. I've just never seen a guy that arrogant. Because he's way more arrogant than Ted Bundy was. Way more. He's just like, yeah, I did it. Jerked off on their dead body. Nothing. No remorse. No. Not even a scotch. And doesn't try to get out of it. Bundy would try to say he wasn't guilty. Mm-hmm. Dahmer would say, I didn't want them dead. I really just wanted to keep them. Mm-hmm. So there's a Raider is just like, I just want to jerk off. They had to die for that. Had to be dead so I could jerk off on them.
He was legit 100% sexually motivated with some real sick fantasies. Like
the fact that he never like hit his wife or hit his kids or his daughter baffles me.
Well, there was the one time that they had one of his letters printed in the paper and he was reading it, and his wife came up behind him and said,
yes.
Oh, he misspells that same word like you do. And he said he thought in his head that he was going to have to kill his wife, like very matter of fact, of course.
Yeah.
And then she never brought it up again, so he didn't have to kill her.
Yep.
She, like, I'm sure when she heard that, now.
That is called being blind because of who your person is. In any other situation, that would have like set off her bells.
It probably did. She just didn't want to admit it. No, I mean, like, especially back then, I don't know. It's like,
well, I mean, his daughter said he was a great dad. Mm-hmm. And she's totally normal.
He was her best friend when she was younger. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know, but
I don't know the kind of trauma it takes. I get trauma like that causes rage in people. Mommy issues that maybe causes you to contributes to you being a rapist or something stupid like that. But I don't know what kind of trauma makes you want to jerk off on dead people. Because Raider did that. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. I can even see in some crazy world how what's his face that fucked his dead mom's face. Kemper. I can see that before just jerking off on dead bodies. That's fucking nuts.
None of it.
Is he dead yet? Is he still on?
Kemper's alive. Or
no.
Raider?
He's still alive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can't believe no one's got an interview with him one-on-one. They even got interviews with Dahmer one-on-one. especially as big as his ego is, it seems like somebody would have scored a Dateline exclusive with him.
I think they do somewhere have tapes of him. I don't know.
Yeah, this guy, that's crazy. Never heard of him.
Yeah, he's 54 now, rotting away in the Arizona State Prison.
I think Arizona's that state too, where those the wardens there treat those prisoners like shit.
Well,
have them doing hard labor, living in
not
tents. Cool. The hardcore guys, this guy should be out breaking rocks in the heat all day, every day. Actually, he should be executed so we don't continue to pay for his fucking...
If you get sentenced to death, there should just be a more streamlined... Like, if you're going to appeal...
You got 5 years.
You do it, and do it to the best of your abilities, and then you get executed if your appeals don't work. It's just, I get on... Because we've executed people that were innocent.
I mean, I know, but the shit happens. Bad things happen. I mean, there's holes in everything. But for the majority of the time, it's not going to be wrong.
Either way, though, this guy was not a good dude. I mean, like, there was clearly a pattern. I don't know how his wife, and he was linked by DNA. I mean, I feel like that's pretty much a smoking gun. And
in 2005, 6, there's more than enough technology to where as soon as one person came up dead near Baseline Road, any decent police force would run a report, be like, what kind of violent offenders do we have that live anywhere near here? Dude just got paroled.
Yeah.
Okay, looking at him right now, that day, not a year where 9 people can die.
No, yeah. After you do the immediate family and the immediate circle around the victim, then you go to the area of where the person was killed and start doing
and you run your report.
Yeah. I know. I mean, like, but again, I don't even know if some of those earlier crimes would necessarily still be like a glaring red flag on his record from the 80s and 90s. Like, they might have been like, oh, we don't need to file those under serious offenses.
I want to look at this guy though, because if he is Mexican, I've never had a Mexican serial killer.
It doesn't say like what his background is, so I feel like...
Man, you nailed it. I think he's Blaxican.
I think he could be Blaxican.
He's black and Mexican.
It doesn't say at all what his...
He's definitely Blaxican. Dang. Yeah, that's weird. He shouldn't have got away with that.
Because he's also in Arizona. There's a lot of American Indians out there too, you know? Like...
Yeah, but that's Blaxican. I know a Blaxican when I see him.
But it just, I was a little disappointed they didn't say... Because for a serial killer... He's not a white guy.
No, that's immediately strange.
I was a little disappointed they didn't call out what his ethnicity was, because I'm like, well, he's clearly not white, and that's a thing. Like, that's unique. But they don't say how big he is. He still would be somebody I wouldn't want to find lurking outside my bedroom window at like 1 a.m.
No, there's not anyone you want to find lurking outside your window. Well, that's interesting. Fuck that guy. Hopefully he's going to die soon.
Yeah, hopefully they'll execute him soon and save the Arizona taxpayers some money. And get real justice for all these people that got killed. Because it's a lot of people. And there's some that say like unnamed woman. So I don't know if it's like it's just redacted from all the records. There's several that say unnamed. And so I don't know. And they have a map of all the like a Baseline Road and just like all these little pins. It's kind of small there, but whoops. You can see it like like all the little red dots. Like it's pretty concentrated. It's like a 2-mile radius.
He didn't travel far from home.
No. Like all right off of that main road.
Shows he's not very smart. This is where Bundy's smartness came. Bundy traveled all over the motherfucking place.
Well, multiple different states.
Yeah. Wide, vast.
He did that on purpose, knowing that law enforcement agencies didn't talk to each other.
I know. Which shows he put a little thought into it. Give me a little effort.
Yeah. No, this guy is literally...
Not very good.
he's classified as a disorganized serial killer.
Yeah,
Ted Bundy would be
definitely.
classified as a organized serial killer.
Dennis Rader would also.
Yes, absolutely.
He
Because
went
Dennis
on-
Rader had a kill kit
Yeah.
that he prepared.
No, I know.
kept
And he
with
talked
him.
about it in one situation where he didn't bring his gear, the woman lived.
Yeah.
Because he had to, on the fly, try to make
Yeah.
bindings and shit.
Yeah.
And he said, no, if I would have had my shit, she's dead.
Yeah.
Straight up, told the judge, no, come on. Give me more credit than that. If I had my gear, she's dead.
I didn't have the proper equipment with me. Yeah. Psycho.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
Mark Goudeau.
yeah. Y'all check
Fuck
him
off and die.
out. Yep. All right. Well, cool. Well, that is the first time we've done episodes within a week of each other in a while.
Now, don't get ahead of yourself. I still need to actually post it.
This one will still get posted well within the time frame we've been doing lately.
For sure. I'm proud of us.
I like it. And
with all the difficulties we overcame.
yep. And check out Civilized Creatures. I don't know if we did our shout out for
Oh.
the creature feature, which is Picks and Bones.
I think we
No, we didn't. I don't think we did.
We didn't?
If we did, we'll do it again.
and we need to
It's
shout
Eric.
out Eric with Picks and Bones.
Mhm.
Great show. Music, all kinds
music
of music.
of all kind of shit, and finding the gems in the South that are
Yeah.
up and coming. Dude is one of the hardest working guys in podcasting.
He is hustling.
Check his shit out. It's always good.
And then also we got to promote the new network feed. So we got Civilized Creatures Presents.
Yep.
Go find that on Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, all the shits. And subscribe. Right now we've got a couple episodes of Throwing Smoke that are ready for your listening pleasure. And then we will also, all of our network collab shows we will post there. So we're going to start, are we going to do podcast episodes of the D&D stuff?
I think so. We're gonna do the trial run. We'll see how that goes. I mean, we've got a cool D&D thing planned. We're all in on it. I can't wait.
Yeah, Randall's super
It
pumped.
could be a glorious shit show.
What is wrong with you? Are you dying?
I'm hiccuping.
Hiccup
and dying.
burping. We're going to do it on Twitch and then maybe post a podcast episode of it. But we're also going to do some other, don't chew in the microphone.
Gonna do what?
You were chewing ice right now.
I know, but what'd you say we're also gonna do?
Some other just collaboration
Yeah.
shows. Podcast of the Round Table would get if we're, in season 2, we'll start posting episodes of Podcast of the Round Table
Yep.
on the Civilized Creatures Presents feed. So just go subscribe there and you'll get some fun shit.
Absolutely. And check everybody out. Drinks with Larry, Untrained Eye, What's in Your Hometown, Picks and Bones, John Buchanan. Check out John Buchanan.
And featuring John Buchanan with a TBD podcast.
Yeah, he's got
one
he's trying
brewing.
out some new things. The Podfather's always got his hands in all
he's
kinds of
always
shit.
got
He's got
one
Hate
cooking.
the Wait. Hate the Wait is out there. That's
Yeah.
a show he still does.
It's not his show though, but he is a host on it.
Yep. So John Buchanan.
Yes.
All right. Well, we will talk to you on another day. And go fuck thyself.
Cool.
Good day to you all.